Coming up this week, Off Screen.
We're going to tell you about some films we liked and some films that we did not like in our top 10 of the year.
All those coming more, Off Screen.
This is Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. Off Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Ooh, welcome to Off Screen. I'm Dan Connor.
And I am off work.
You are indeed.
I'm also Kase Allen.
Well, for me, this is kind of me off work as well now. So this is me done for the year as well. And so glad. It's been a long year.
Too long.
It's been a really long year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so long that it began and ended with musicals, and it still feels exhausting.
Written by the
same people.
Yeah. The songs were by the same people.
I mean, it was the first year of Trump, and
that was a thing.
That was a thing. Let us hope this is the only time we
maybe the last year of Trump.
The last year of Trump. And maybe the last year of humanity. We don't know. Let's see. There was some scandals. There were a lot of scandals.
Yeah. Kerry Washington was still on Scandal.
Kerry Washington came back for the final season of Scandal.
Yeah.
Which actually not very good. I'm just going to say,
yeah.
There are a couple episodes from the end, and actually, it's not a very good season. It's a bit of a mess. And you know the worst part?
That's the scandal. That's the twist.
Here's the irony. That season, the new season, has a female president. And you can't help but think, wow,
really?
They get a female president. It's the worst season they've ever had. This is not helping the greater sociological argument. So
not in our current climate.
No. So other things this year. I mean, #MeToo. Last Jedi killed Star Wars. Apparently,
it did. Yeah. Rian Johnson. I think. I mean, if I'm looking at the time code, I think now. Yeah, he's just been executed.
He's just been executed.
Yeah,
that's about right. Yeah. Is that what the whipping noise was? That what the whipping noise was?
Yes,
that was the precursor.
Yeah. we heard a lightsaber go off, and that was it. No more Rian Johnson, and no more really great intelligent sci-fi films for us anymore.
The Passion of the Johnson. Terrible title.
Just go back and watch Brick, you idiots.
Or Loop. I prefer Loop at Brick. But let's see what else happened this year. We've had a few deaths. That's been quite sad.
Yeah, Tom Petty died, and that was really that was a big one.
That cut you on that one. That one that cut you the most.
Didn't come with the most, but it's definitely a big one.
And well, let's see what else. Let's see. Disney bought Fox. That was one.
That was huge. That was recently.
That was big.
I mean, all the controversies.
Yeah, many controversies.
Should we call them that? Let's call them. let's call them the Troubles. Shall we?
We're not Irish. You don't get to just sweep things under the historical rug with the Troubles. So, yeah. Anyway, we've got 10 films we loved more than any others this year. And I think, as it's the end of the year, it's our last show. Obviously, we're pre-recording this before Christmas. It's going out after Christmas. It is currently Friday the 22nd. This will go out, I'm assuming, a week from today. So let's go through what we have for our 10 best films of the year. When we get to number 3, we're going to give you our worst picks of the year. When we get to number 2, before we get to number 1, we'll go through them all again for you. And until then, let's start at the bottom.
Number 10.
I only watched this film this week. But I loved it.
Is this Brigsby Bear?
This is Brigsby Bear.
Oh, I loved this.
Yeah.
Brigsby Bear. And this was quite a recent release here as well. This has been around for a while because it was a South by Southwest film.
Yeah, but I think it only got general here very recently.
Yeah, very. I think it was about 4 weeks ago? Yeah.
Something like that.
Really, really great fun. So this was kind of like a really dark-hearted blast from the past.
Yes.
Like the movie Blast in the Past, not an actual Blast in the Past, not like, an ex-girlfriend or anything like that. It's an actual movie Blast in the Past. Basically, that movie if Brendan Fraser was on PCP. So basically, you've got Kyle Mooney from Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
Who has co-written this movie, who stars in it, and he's a young boy, college-age boy who's been raised underground in a bunker because I think he's been told the Earth is polluted and toxic. That's essentially all he knows, and he's not allowed outside. I think he's meant to be a bit older than college age as well. You think?
Like, Kyle Mooney in real life is 33. I was estimating that he's probably like
25?
Yeah, mid to late 20s, that kind of thing.
So obviously the FBI raid his home. They reveal to him that his parents are in fact his childhood abductors, and he has a real family on the outside waiting for him, and he decides that the only thing in the world he wants to see that can make him feel comfortable are his beloved videotapes, The Adventures of Brigsby Bear, a sort of retro VHS 80s sci-fi kid show.
A show that nobody else has seen because his kidnappers come parents have been the ones to make it.
Yes, Mark Hamill, who's the dad, has been hiring an aircraft hangar or something to film this.
And built all the sets, shot the show just for him.
Just to program sort of his son. And of course he decides, now that he's out in the outside world, he's going to make the Brigsby Bear movie. We've got a quick clip for you.
James, just the man I was looking for.
Wait, where's all your soldier stuff?
Huh? I'm off duty right now. Now look, there's no way I could get you everything on that list, all right? But forensics does have more evidence than they know what to do with. So I figured they wouldn't miss a couple items, like...
The Sordis crystal!
That's what I thought. Yeah, and I found this in back. Wasn't on the list, but...
Four-tip staff! I thought that was stuck in a time flux.
I don't know what that is, but it's got a nice weight to it. And last but not least, one of these bad boys.
That's Brigsby.
Carl Mooney there, and wow, and that was Greg Kinnear in the clip as well.
Such a good cast.
It's a really good cast, isn't it? You've got, is it Michaela Watkins from Casual, is his birth mother?
Yep, Matt Walsh's birth dad.
Yeah. I don't remember who plays the sister. And obviously you've got Mark Hamill as his his abductor.
Jane Addams as well.
Yeah, and the pair of them, I don't think Jane Addams gets enough to do because obviously she's less of an important character on his life than his father. His father is very much the nurturing one.
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill, in his first of 2 appearances in this role, absolutely,
it's a good year, isn't it?
It's a good year when Mark Hamill's in the top 10 twice, and I think he's great. I think Mark Hamill is the standout in this for me. I mean, obviously, Carl Mooney's terrific.
Yeah, I'd like to see Carl Mooney in more films. He's becoming one of those people from SNL now that I want to see him outside of SNL.
I like that about SNL. I like when you get a good break. It's kind of like how Bobby Moynihan became. Like, I want to see him in more things.
Yeah, like once you've been there for like 5 or 6 years, it's like now's the time that you kind of go
break out.
Like Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon is now, she's a star in her own right and has been for a couple of years.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon's going to be literally the next big thing.
She just needs a vehicle. She needs a Bridesmaids or...
I think action comedy for Kate McKinnon. I could totally see her in action comedy.
She was the best thing in Ghostbusters.
She was the best thing in Ghostbusters. And so cute as Holtzman. Just so cute.
Yeah, Holtzman's incredible.
Yeah, I love Holtzman. Like, how did that not become the big costume? Oh, yeah, Harley Quinn. Brigsby Bear, absolutely superbly directed by Dave McCrary, who gets the weirdness of it, and he really leans into that. And it's
a Lonely Island production as well.
Did you notice that their distributor logo is the Sony Classic logo with their name inserted in place of Sony Classics?
Yes, I did.
I love that.
It's brilliant.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, that's so random. I love it.
With like the blue screen.
Yeah. That day glow blue screen and the simple white text. And incidentally, Call Me By Your Name is not in this list. So if that's what you're looking for, please stop now.
Number 9.
The Disaster Artist.
Which I've not seen, but you have.
I have.
This is the only one in hour 10 that I haven't seen.
I've seen everything.
You've seen everything.
Amazing.
You are ahead of me in 2017, sir. So, give me the plot of The Disaster Artist real quick then.
Once again, it is about the creation of the best worst film ever made. Essentially, it's based on a book by Greg Sestero, who was in The Room, which it's based on, and centers around Tommy Wiseau, who was the producer, the writer, the director, the star, wrote the theme tune, sang the theme tune to The Room. And it's about how him and Greg met, how they became friends, how The Room was made, essentially. And it's just great.
Okay, we have a clip.
Tommy, hey.
Hey.
What's this? This is Amber, who I was telling you about.
Oh, girlfriend.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't have time for this. I'm very busy right now. I have to change really quickly and go.
Okay, is everything all right?
Yeah, everything great on my end. You heard of Konstantin Stanislavski?
Of course, yeah. He's like the greatest acting teacher of all time.
Yeah, and now he taught me acting teacher. He seen something special in me, maybe, I'll become a big star. So I have first class this evening.
Well, pretty sure Stanislavski's dead.
No, he's not dead. I just speak to him for your information. What do you think I speak to, girls?
No.
Okay, I'll let you know how it is, babyface. Maybe you can join me someday. Maybe I will. Not so busy.
This film is great.
Well, this is the thing. This is why I was so willing. I was so willing to just have it in the top 10 because you were so passionate about it, and a lot of critics of friends of mine, like particularly Nigel Andrews of all people, said absolutely that's top 10 of the year material. It's really good. You've got to see it.
It is. It's moving. It's heartwarming for something that kind of shouldn't be. They turn Tommy Wiseau into this sympathetic character.
But he shouldn't be.
But he shouldn't be.
I know exactly.
You see him now in interviews, and it's like, "Oh, Tommy," instead of Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy.
Yeah.
But I'm told the Franco performance that's the key, that's the anchor.
Yes, although my favourite performance in it is Josh Hutcherson playing the guy who plays Denny in The Room.
Oh, right.
Who kind of nails it.
I'd forgotten he was in this.
He's amazing. Like, for being like for like, he is, yeah, he's fairly spot on.
Oh, I didn't realise Ari Grainer's in it as well.
Ari Grainer plays the character who plays Lisa.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm a big fan of
such a good. Paul Shear's in it. Paul Shear plays the DOP. Seth Rogen, who produced it with Point Grey.
Zephron
is Chris R, who is one of my favourite characters from The Room.
Jackie Weaver. This has got...
Yep, Sharon Stone, Jess Mantzoukas, Hannibal Buress.
June Diane Raphael, Megan Mullally.
The core three from How Did This Get Made?
Yeah, I was going to say, they're all in there. Well, that's weird.
This film is kind of like attributed to them a little bit because Greg was on my podcast to talk about The Room before the book The Disaster Artist came out.
They've now done a special as well, haven't they?
I've listened to
a special
it,
episode of How Did This Get Made about The Disaster Artist.
So, like, yeah, kind of in a way,
it's come full circle.
It has come full circle. Like, the traction really picked up when he was on that podcast, and I think that's how James Franco got hold of it.
So we're a month out from like the awards season properly kicking off, I would say. Well, not a month out, we're a couple of weeks out from the awards season really kicking off. Where do you think this is going to land? Because there's buzz.
I would not be surprised if it gets screenplay nod. I think
adapted screenplay, is it?
It will be adapted, yeah. And I honestly think James Franco is going to get a nod for actor, which would be incredible because you forget that you're watching James Franco. And isn't that the whole point, really?
Well, I am definitely looking forward to this film. And I tell you what, good or bad, whatever I think of it, when I finally get to see it, I'm calling you.
Number 8.
The Big Sick.
The Big Sick, which this was something, I think I caught a very early screening of this over the summer, and it was when I was supposed to be having a week off the week that was actually getting released, and I think I saw a screening about a month in advance, and then I think I talked it up for ages, and then you saw it as well, and we were both like, yes, oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah, I really love it.
Okay, so this is the sort of kind of the breakout film for Kumail Nanjiani, who we're both fans of anyway.
Because of Silicon Valley. I like him in Franklin and Bash as well, and he started turning up in films like Fist Fight and things like that. Yeah. What was that Zephron film? Mike and Dave. Mike, yes. Yeah, Mike and Dave need wedding dates. He's the funny part of that film. He genuinely is, yeah. So this is loosely based on the actual story of how he fell in love with and married his wife. Emily Gordon. Emily V. Gordon. Is it V. Gordon? V. Gordon. Yeah. V is a middle initial. It's not the Gordon. It's not the Gordon. It's Emily V. Gordon. And it is the story of how they met, they hooked up one night, they had a short-lived relationship. She was put into a medically induced coma due to a pre-existing condition she had very suddenly. He is mistakenly added as her emergency contact, and he basically has to contend with her parents when they come to visit to check in on their medically out of capacity daughter. Here's a clip.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Kumail.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we saw you perform.
Now that the niceties are out of the way, I have to tell you that when you yelled at me, it really threw me off, and you really shouldn't heckle comedians. It's so rude.
I didn't heckle you. Just woohooed you. Just supportive.
Okay, that's a common misconception. But yelling anything at a comedian is considered heckling. Heckling doesn't have to be negative.
So if I yelled out like, "You're amazing in bed," that'd be a heckle?
Yeah, it would be an accurate heckle.
Kumail Nanjiani, I'm a huge fan. You're a huge fan. Do you think this did him justice?
Yes, I think he did himself justice.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, did themselves justice. They both wrote it.
They both wrote it together, didn't they? Who directed this one now?
It is Mike Showalter.
It is, yes.
Yeah, who's in Wet Hot American Summer and loads of good stuff.
The answer.
He's great.
Well, this is... Has it got... Am I right in thinking it's got a producing credit somewhere on there for Judd Apatow? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, Apatow's been all over this, really. Apatow,
yeah. we just don't do first names. No. We treat everyone like they're Madonna. So Kanjiani, as he is. Yeah. So Kanjiani... really, really winning in this. And the weird part is, the film, if you want to break it down, is insanely simplistic. If you want to break it down, it's nothing more than a gender flipped while you were sleeping. And yet it's so charming and so personable. It's written so well, so insightful.
But it's more than that. It's got more than just it's a gender flipped while you sleep, because it's got all the stuff about his heritage and his race, and that's where all the clever stuff comes from.
And that's the thing. It's that personality that he brings to it, that flavour that he adds to it, particularly as far as her parents go as well, because they are far more developed as characters than they have any business being, and they absolutely own the film. The stuff with his family as well, the racial side of that,
marriage stuff.
I love that so much. It's brilliant seeing that done, and in a year that's finally seen Hassan Minhaj begin to ascend the comedy ladder, I'm really glad Kumail Nanjiani got there, kind of, and stuck his claim before Hassan crept up behind him. And
he'll be next year's Kumail Nanjiani.
So Hassan can have next year, and I'm very much, because he's got the Melissa McCarthy movie, isn't it? No, Kate McKinnon movie.
Yeah,
he's got the
maybe that's the Kate McKinnon movie we're waiting
maybe
for.
That's it. Yeah, Kate McKinnon, Mila Kunis movie about the spy ex-boyfriend or something who's clearly going to be John Hamm.
Yeah,
but we've got that to look forward to next year. But this year, the breakout comic performer tag, that absolutely goes to Kumail Nanjiani. If you haven't seen The Big Sick, absolutely check it out. And on a personal note, if you've ever been mixed race living in Western culture, there's an entire other reason to check this out, and it absolutely pays off.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back. So, Mr. Allen, shall we on to the next one?
Number 7.
Colossal.
Oh, I thought you said Kurt Russell then.
Oh, I wish Kurt Russell was in this.
Number 7 is Kurt Russell.
Well, he's also number 6 as well, and he's the rest of the top 10 because he's Kurt Russell.
Yes, that's it. Absolutely, Kurt Russell.
He's Jack Burton.
There's a reason he starred in a movie called Miracle. The man has worked solidly for 50 years. He is
what
a
miracle.
miracle.
Reference, a Disney ice hockey film.
That's an actual line of dialogue from American Dad. Okay, so Colossal, which I don't think anyone expected this to be anywhere near as impressive as it actually was. This stars Anne Hathaway and Jason Sudeikis, of all people. It is written and directed by Nacho Vigalondo, who I always remember him as having brought us Open Windows, was it? The Elijah Wood cybercrime thriller movie.
Yes.
But he did something higher profile, and I absolutely forget what that was. Open Windows.
Is something called, like is it Time Crimes or something?
I think
like
it is.
that?
Yeah, it is absolutely Time Crimes. You are right. Yeah. So the general gist here is you have a sort of feckless alcoholic. She is without feck.
She is without feck.
Feck, played by Anne Hathaway, who is dumped by her boyfriend, goes back to her hometown, starts hanging out in the local bar with sort of a childhood friend played by Jason Sudeikis, and discovers that when getting blackout drunk in the middle of the night at a very certain time, she has the ability to control this just sounds insane when you say it, Alan. Control a kaiju on the other side of the world, and her exact physical actions are mimicked by the kaiju, who is unintentionally destroying Japan. Here's a clip.
So you don't remember anything we talked about last night, huh?
I got really melodramatic, didn't I?
Well, told me that you weren't really on a vacation, that you've been looking for a job for a year, and you've been living with your boyfriend, Tim, and didn't work out. And since you didn't have any money, you decided to move back here for a little while. For the record, I figured out that you were broke on my own, so you don't have to feel bad about it.
Oh, well, congratulations. Is there anything else?
I told you that if you wanted to give me a hand at the bar, you're more than welcome. Make a little money while you were staying here.
What did I say?
You said yes.
Anne Hathaway there, and yeah, I love this. Absolutely. And it even managed to squeeze Dan Stevens in there for good measure because it's a 2017 movie.
He's been in a lot this year.
He has, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's like him and Donald Gleeson.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can't move for that.
By the way, I don't know if I told you this. Donald Gleeson, when he was at the Last Jedi press conference, I was physically watching him, and he really physically reminded me an awful lot of you. I just
Really?
gotta say, it's just the way he carries himself. Yeah,
Right.
It's just I was just watching him for like I was staring at him for a really long time.
Case-like.
I was like, it's like Kase, but ginger and famous.
Give it time.
give it time. You'll get ginger eventually. So no, I really enjoyed this. Some great supporting performances from the likes of Austin Stoll and Tim Blake Nelson in particular.
I love Tim Blake Nelson.
I know. He's the Marvel villain we always deserved and never quite got, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because they set him up, they never gave him
He's been
to
set
us.
up in 2 Marvel films.
He has, hasn't he? Yes. But here's the thing with Colossal. I mean, it's well shot, it's well written, but it's well written in a sense of real, genuine surprise, and it goes to very dark, very creepy places in a way that you don't quite expect, but never feels out of step with the actual story. It's far more bonkers than you'd think, even from just the plot description. Anne Hathaway is genuinely brilliant in it, and I think it's the best performance we will ever see from Jason Sudeikis. Hands down.
Bold. Are you not a fan of Jason Sudeikis?
No, I like Jason Sudeikis.
You just think it is a very good performance.
He's a good performer, but I think this is a terrific performance. Because the gamut that he gets to run here, I think, really shows you what he can do.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And I don't think
It's darker than you think it's going to be.
And at the same time, he's funnier than you think he's.
You think he's just going to be? Oh, he's the romantic lead for this.
Yeah, and at the same time, he's kind of a villain. At the other time, he's kind of a love interest, and he's kind of an abusive boyfriend. He's and he's so many things, and he pulls them all off. And I if this is the best performance we ever get from him, I'd say that's a good career. That's a really good career. Were you a fan of Colossal?
Of course I was. Yeah.
Excellent. In which case,
Number 6.
Hello, Georgie.
I'll make sure in the edit that the button's in there. Don't worry. So it's
IT.
IT, yeah. Well, no, because that movie came out this year as well.
Yeah.
That movie finally got a release this year.
Is that not the one with the Pierce Brosnan?
That's the Pierce
film?
Brosnan.
Yeah, but that's the one that's on our top 10, isn't it?
Oh God, no!
So I was putting it with Bill Skarsgård on the worst. It's been a classic mix-up.
Oh, typical screwball error.
Yeah,
admin faults. That's
always admin.
Problem with the temps. That's what that is. So is this still the highest-grossing horror film of however long now? Like ever?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the highest grossing R-rated film, because
not R-rated.
Deadpool had that, and I don't know if they still have it or not.
But this was a monster.
This was
wasn't it?
huge, made so much money.
So, based on the iconic Stephen King novel, you have a group of young children, aka the losers, in their small town in Maine, who find themselves facing off against an otherworldly clown known as Pennywise.
Yeah, who is not necessarily a clown.
He's not really. He's a sort of vaudeville entertainer, I suppose.
It's not even that. It's just... That's why it's called It, because it can be anything.
It can be anything.
It can be anything, but because it likes to scare people the most, and it likes to scare kids the most because they taste the best, he decides to be a clown because kids get scared of clowns.
I'm just putting it out there. This movie came out before we all knew about Roy Moore. Just putting it out there. Okay.
And it's also what he says in the film. He goes for kids because, and he scares them because it salts the flesh, which is such a creepy sentence.
And something only Stephen King could come up with. I tell you what, here's a clip.
Hiya, Georgie. What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
Yes, please.
You look like a nice boy. Do you want a balloon too, Georgie?
I'm not supposed to take stuff from strangers.
Oh, well, I'm Pennywise the dancing clown. Now we aren't strangers, are we?
I should get going now.
But without your boat? Here. Take it.
I loved this, absolutely loved this. And it's Andy Muschietti who directed this in his second directorial effort.
Yeah, he did Mama with Jessica Chastain.
Which, and 2/3 great, and then you got this, which is all great.
Yeah.
And wow.
So great.
So confidently
Really knew what he was
made.
doing.
And, yeah. And the performances by the child actors.
Yeah, like they're all standouts.
They're all. It's hard to pick a favourite one. I
feel like it would be unfair to do that.
That's it. I think after about 20 minutes at the beginning of the film, I didn't quite like Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things because I thought he was just a nothing character he'd been given. But then once he's given something to do, it works. And he's very much a young Will Wheaton. Sorry, Will
Wheaton. I want Bill Hader to play him in the film.
That would be amazing.
In the next one.
Well, actually, they're supposed to be about 40, aren't they, in the next one?
This is the thing, yeah. There's been a lot of, ardent fan casting. Obviously, Jessica Chastain is everyone's favourite to be...
I like Amy Adams.
And, well, that's the thing. It's Amy Adams or Jessica Chastain, but Jessica Chastain did Mama.
Yeah.
So she's got form of Anna Machete.
Well, apparently Idris Elba wants in as well. So, that's the whole Molly's Game connection with Jessica Chastain. So that could happen. But no, I think the obvious star of this is totally Bill Skarsgård.
Yeah.
And wow.
It's pretty genius casting.
I kind of had no idea who he was before.
You just knew he was a Skarsgård.
You knew, and he has that Skarsgård... Skarsgård or Skarsgård? Scars, isn't
He's a Scar. Peter's Star.
Okay, that's what I need to remember. So the classic Skarsgård appeal, and I mean, it's just such a creepy and brilliant film. And even the stuff that should be cartoonish and not work does work. And it's things like the sequence with the projector. They have which we've seen in the trailer. In the movie, you'd think this is going to go far, far cartoony than it does, but it works, and it's genuinely terrifying. I can't wait to watch it again. I don't know about you.
Yeah, and I can't wait for Chapter 2.
Oh no, we've got 18 months? 18 months?
They've dated it. It's something like 2 years.
And end of 2019, I think. Yeah. Well, consider me first in line.
Number 5.
Blade Runner, the second one. Blade Runner 2049. Much better title.
Well, this was the sequel that I think everyone thought it's either going to be mind-blowing or pants. And the fact that it's on this list suggests that the latter was not the case.
It was mind-blowingly pants.
It was mind-blowingly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
My mind was blown within my pants? No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Let's not say that.
Okay, so Denis Villeneuve, I think, is coming off the back of just the most amazing run. And he's just the most perfect director to have helmed this arguably unnecessary in theory, and then you watch the film and actually very necessary and evolutionary sequel to one of the great sci-fi movies, in which we're back in LA. It's 30 years on from the events of the first Blade Runner, which was 2019. This is obviously 2049, and we have a new Blade Runner with a completely different set of skills, played by Ryan Gosling. His name is Kay, I believe.
Yes.
Who discovers during the course of a routine Blade Runner investigation that replicants have something new added to the equation, something new that could potentially shift the entire balance of society as they know it. We have a clip.
Every leap of civilization was built off the back of slaves. Replicants are the future, but I can only make so many. I had the luck, and he has the key. I think I found him.
That's not possible. If this gets out, we've bought ourselves a war.
So Blade Runner 2049, it gave us great performances from Ryan Gosling, from Robin Wright, from Ana de Armas, from Dave Bautista. Yeah, and Lenny James turned up. I mean, this was a great movie.
And Jared Leto's there as well.
And Jared Leto is just there because it's a movie in 2017.
Abdi is there, the captain.
Yeah, and of course, Mr. H. Ford himself. H. Fords. Harry
Ford.
And it's always weird seeing Harrison Ford get into a flying vehicle that he's not piloting. But
and say something that is quite coherent and not just...
he's actually acting in this. Yeah. That was the big surprise for me, actually, of this film. Other than the fact that it was mind-blowingly stunning, it was...
it's beautiful.
A glorious, wonderful film. The thing that really blew me away was how good Harrison Ford was. I expected really everyone else in this film to be good. I really did. I thought Robin Wright's never phoned.
Sometimes you kind of expect Harrison Ford to just turn up and just kind of coast by.
It's the Jeff Bridges effect.
Yeah,
you think they've made their career. They're kind of
just be there and be Jeff Bridges.
They're added value elements now, and Harrison Ford uses it as an opportunity to genuinely step up to the plate. Perhaps in a way that he didn't even in The Force Awakens. I don't think in Star Wars.
Yeah, I prefer him in this than old Han Solo.
Very much. much. And there's one very pivotal scene, I think, pivotal scene involving him and Jared Leto and another character that you just think, wow, I can't believe. I genuinely can't believe I'm seeing this. Wow.
Yeah. I love the thing that I think it was the Honest Trailer guys did when we said that now that we've had like old Han Solo, we've seen old Indy, we've seen old Deckard.
We need old Witness.
Re-Witness, Air Force 2.
Yes. We're getting Air Force 2 that stars Gerard Butler.
We are, yeah. We are going to do like a looking forward to next year film.
Oh, definitely. Is that next year?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. That's something to look forward to next year. But yeah, more of those in the podcast.
More by Gerard Butler films, the less of everything else.
We'll get to those.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, I think we've done number 6, we've done number 5. There's only one place we can go now.
Number 4.
Logan.
This was an obvious one. I think for a lot of people, this is going to be number 1 this year. This was a huge hit.
I don't know if it's going to be up there. I mean, it's up there for us. Number 4 is pretty ace. You've done well.
We have high standards. Yeah. That's the thing. But Logan, which, let's be honest, this is the third of the Wolverine solo series, and it's not a series that came with really high expectations. The Wolverine was pretty okay. Go on.
We have had a good year for third entries to superhero films.
We have.
And if you count the third iteration of Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It has been very
Ragnarok was amazing.
Yeah.
Homecoming and this.
Indeed. Yeah. In fact, this is the weird thing. I was actually looking. We did wind up with 3 of this year's comic movies in our top ones. And every single one of them is objectively something different. And that's, for an industry that we're constantly told is,
it's going to die.
It's going to die. It's killing the industry. It's taking it's the same formulaic nonsense. Now, look at Logan. Just look at Logan. I've not seen Logan Noir. And I have the opportunity this next week to see it in 4K, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'll have to get you along for that, incidentally. I'll give you the details later.
Oh, yeah.
Logan, 4K, Noir.
Nice.
I'm so looking forward to that. So Hugh Jackman is back. It's the... Huge Jacked Man.
Huge Jacked Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is back. It is the dystopian future. Mutants are now dying out. There's been no new mutants born in 2 decades, I think we're told. Wolverine himself is starting to lose his healing ability. He's numbing the pain with booze and pills. He's caring for an elderly Professor X whose mental deterioration threatens to take down the world with him.
Stephen Merchant's there.
And Stephen Merchant's there.
I forget what his ability is.
Callisto. I don't remember, actually. Yeah. I think... As far as I remember, don't quote me, I think Callisto's thing was finding other mutants.
I think you're right with that, actually.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. He appears in X-Men Apocalypse as well, played by a different actor, which I always found really odd, because it's like within a year. Because completely different ethnicity as well, because I think he's Eastern European in Apocalypse, and he's clearly British.
Yeah. You can't get more British.
No. There's British, and then there's Stephen Merchant.
Somerset accent.
Exactly. Yeah. And Stephen Merchant is a man who doesn't have earlobes, he has Earl Grey tea bags. But that's how British he is. So the idea is, of course, Logan finds something of a redemption in the form of a young girl played by Daphne Keane, who has more of a biological tie to Wolverine than anybody, even he, expects. We have a clip.
Evening, Mr. Monson. You understand you're trespassing right now, right?
I have an easement with the previous owner of your property.
Previous being the operative word. Who's this?
Just a guy telling you to get back in your nice truck. Go play okey dickhead somewhere else.
Hey, Carl. It looks like Mr. Monson hires some muscle.
Looks that way.
He's a friend of mine.
Friend with a big mouth.
I hear that a lot.
And you probably hear this, too.
More than I'd like.
And you know the drill. I'm gonna count to 3, and you're gonna start walking away.
I got rights to this one.
1.
I have a lawyer now.
2.
3.
So James Mangold returning to direct this after having directed The Wolverine, and after this he did the reshoots on The Greatest Showman. I think we've recently learned as well. So there's obviously a working relationship there with Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Say it right.
That absolutely works. And you look at something like Logan, you think, yes, that's a relationship that I think we need to see more of. This is an absolutely stellar effort. I mean, this is a film you can show to someone who isn't a comic book fan. And
I think a lot of people... In fact, didn't you say that? Didn't you you overhear a conversation where someone was like, "Oh, I went to see this amazing film called Logan," but didn't know anything about Wolverine.
Yeah, turns out it was like an X-Man or something.
An X-Man,
It was an X-Man movie. That was it. I think they said that was an X-Man movie. I'm like, oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, but that shows how good it is.
It is, and I think it's very easy to just mistake it for a dystopian way. If you don't know, just to mistake it for a dystopian western. And it's absolutely terrific in there. Is it who's Boyd Holbrook who plays the villain?
Yeah, who's got something of a Sam Rockwell?
Oh yes,
yeah. About him.
You can't
you know
be a good old fashioned quality redneck villain.
Yeah.
And
he's really good for that.
Yeah, he's great. We need more of that.
I'm excited to see him in Predator.
Yes, and I hope he's still doing redneck in that, because that would be
more
awesome.
redneck. Yes.
More redneck, please. Come on, Boyd, make it happen. Daphne Keane, I think, is tremendous in this. I don't know how they could bring her back into the series, given that this takes place in what seems to be an alternative time.
And now the whole, the Disney thing.
Yeah, but yes, please make her a Disney princess. Please make please make Laura a Disney princess.
I make Logan a Disney prince.
Yes, yeah. I want to see Logan as a Disney prince, played by Hugh Jackman. And
Hugh Jackman's essentially a Disney prince.
Oh, he is. He's like real life Disney prince. That's who you get if you needed a real life. Yeah, totally.
You get that, or you get John Hamm to be like an older Prince Eric. That's what you get.
I want John Hamm to star in my pitch for a sort of reality set Prince Charming movie in which his life goes to hell after getting the girl. But
that'd be good.
That would be like he gets her and she's a nag. Yeah, like she's like constant pain in the ass like that. That's a movie I want to see.
So you need John Hamm and like Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, John Hamm and Kristen Wiig could absolutely pull that. Oh, Amy Adams. Amy Adams.
What's it with Amy Adams today?
Everything about me is about Amy Adams, unless it's Justice League, in which case I'm sorry I've ever seen her. But no, I think this is genuinely a brilliant work. This is absolutely subversive work for the superhero genre. I want to see a lot more like it. Please do more films like this, more films that challenge, more films that are different. And to be fair, the next 3 films that we've got in this chart are all different and they are all challenging. So, on to the next one.
Number 3.
Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Talk about challenging and different, eh? So, don't tweet us.
I said it with such trepidation.
I know. Don't tweet us.
And it shouldn't have to, because I don't care what you think. You shouldn't particularly care what I think. I know this is our top 10 of the year, and I enjoy doing it, and it's good, and it's nice to have an opinion and a conversation about things. But keep your stupid comments in your pocket, to paraphrase Baroom. just...
Everything goes back to Tommy Wiseau with you, doesn't it?
It does right now, because I've been talking about Disaster Artist.
Okay, so I know we only reviewed this recently, but for the purpose of posterity, we have to go back to it. So, undefined time after the events of The Force Awakens, Rey is on Ahch-To, learning to become a Jedi with Luke Skywalker. Or is she? Because he doesn't seem to be that willing to do it. In the meanwhile, Poe Dameron and Finn are off with the Rebel fleet, basically being chased to death by the First Order, in what can literally be described as the Empire Striking Back. Finn teams up with a new character named Rose, played by Kelly Marie Tran, to go off on what's effectively a heist mission to try and give the rebels some kind of tactical advantage. Meanwhile, Poe and a new character played by Laura Dern, Admiral Holdo, attempt to basically keep the dream of the rebellion alive, as I think we're literally told at one point. Here's a clip.
That'll light the fire. That'll burn the First Order down. Come on! This is not going to go the way you think. Fulfill your destiny.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Loved it. If you don't, we don't care. So, there you go. Also, porgs are amazing. Stop smack talking them.
Have you heard the whole puffin thing?
Yeah. Apparently there were actual puffins on the island. Is that the thing?
Yes.
So they were filming, there were a lot of puffins, they couldn't film around them, so they just CG replaced them with porgs. I absolutely love it, and that's the best possible explanation. That's Harrison Ford had a stomach bug, so they couldn't do a sword fight. That's that kind of look. And if you don't know what that story is, look that up, and it's one of your favourite moments in cinema and you just didn't know it. So yeah, I really love this. Mark Hamill is creepy and weird and awesome. Ray is genuinely an exciting character. Finn is given something of a real arc this time around. Kelly Marie Tran makes for a great new addition to the Star Wars franchise as Rose. Poe Dameron basically
gets
makes
way more to do.
Yes, he basically makes Oscar Isaac the blockbuster movie star we know he needs to be. And
well, he just needs his own.
He does
his own vehicle. Really,
he needs a Star Wars story. We need Poe Dameron.
I would much rather see that than Han Solo film.
I would. I want Poe Dameron, a Star Wars.
I would
Poe
rather
Dameron, Top Gun with X-Wings.
Yeah, you spin him off and you say you've actually earned the right to lead now.
Yes, that'd be amazing, wouldn't
it? And then you give him that story.
Yes. And you can even cameo the other ones.
Yeah.
But I still dream of Top Gun with X-Wings, and I think Oscar Isaac would absolutely rock that.
I think that's all the cheese you've been eating.
It totally is.
Oh. You need to stop eating cheese and falling asleep to Top Gun.
I do. I clearly need to, yes. For the record, by the way, no, it's Crimson Tide I fall asleep to. That's why I have nightmares about...
Anything with Denzel.
It's true. No, I just have nightmares about really poorly written second draft dialogue by Quentin Tarantino. That's what it is. Yeah.
Wow, what a burn from Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, he's not doing very well now at all, is he?
No, he's having to make that Star Trek film.
I know. Actually, that's the weird thing, because he's working with Abrams on that, who is then directing episode 9 of this series.
It's all connected.
So we loved The Last Jedi. I think Rian Johnson is an amazing director here. Talk about bringing auteur level craft to this series.
I think, I appreciate the fact that some people obviously didn't enjoy it or didn't like it, but it stems from the fact that they're so rooted in what these films should be in inverted commas,
that's it,
and
isn't it?
They've dreamt up their own theories, and if whatever comes next doesn't match up with their theories, they have to defecate on it.
Yeah.
They feel like it is their moral obligation, and it's not. It's a film. It's a film you should enjoy, and someone new took it to a new direction, and that is to be applauded for better or worse.
Can we just acknowledge something as well about this film that nobody except a very small handful of people seem to have picked up on?
What's that?
Which is there is a very slight reshifting in the personal life of former Princess Leia that is very visually signposted, and nobody seems to have picked up on it.
Well, apparently she is in some of the books that she's in as well, and they're friends.
They're friends. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a moment that just really calls that into question.
I think that'd be cool. I think it'd be ace. I'd love that.
Purple hair. That's all I'm saying. Purple hair.
That would do it for me.
There's a colour signifier there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and that's awesome. Because that's something Star Wars has never had.
Yeah.
And in a film that's full of things that Star Wars has never had before, yes.
Can you imagine if Poe and Finn got together in 9? I would love that.
That'd be amazing.
I would love that. People would literally implode.
They really would. Because apparently giving them something as minutely subversive as Skyfall, in this case, really blew their minds. So let's see if J.J. Abrams has got anything up his sleeve next.
Skyfall? You mean James Bond doing Home Alone?
Exactly. Well, that's only its third act, isn't it? But the first two are Licensed to Kill, let's be honest. In which case, shall we move on and pick our worst of the year?
I'll let you go first, because I feel like you've got something in the chamber.
Well,
want to go for?
I've got a few that I really despised this year. I mean, the obvious one is Justice League.
That's why I'm letting you go first.
I know, I've said enough on it. I'm just going to say it's rubbish. I'm just going to say it's not a complete film, that it should never have been released, and literally nothing about it works. That's it. There you go. I'm done on Justice League. Okay. You have one you'd like to smack talk, I believe?
Yeah, so we saw a film called The Untamed.
I remember this. I was at the funeral. You covered the press shows,
and I wish I was at the funeral.
Yeah. And then I caught it on a screen link. I'm like, good God, how did he watch this?
Yeah, good God, I feel so sorry for Kase.
Do you even remember what it was about? Because I don't. I just remember it was awful.
It's a Mexican film. There's tentacle sex, for lack of a better.
Yeah, alien tentacle sex. Yeah.
There's an asteroid that may or may not be heading towards Earth. And it was the worst.
I didn't even remember that.
It's so bad. I'm looking for the worst, the supposed worst film list that everyone's been putting together.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything that I despised quite as much.
Oh.
It was just uninterested and disjointed, and nothing about it worked.
No, I'd absolutely go with that, to be honest.
I haven't seen the next one I'm going to talk about, but I know you have, and I know you're going to say it.
Go on.
So, Chips.
Chips is an exercise in how to actually write a comedy without making a single joke work. It is a film that is surprisingly, in 2017, just venomously homophobic. And
Really?
I mean, like, the predominance of homophobia in the film is just alarming. You find yourself looking at someone thinking, this is something that someone thought was fun. Was the writer someone's cousin? Like, what happened here? It's something that you just it's a lot of genital jokes, but not funny ones, and ones that are deeply rooted in just nasty homophobia, which they think is played for charm and isn't. Also, it's a film in which I remember walking out of Warner Brothers afterwards, and I was walking next to Henry Fitzherbert, who was at that time the critic for The Express, and he said to me, "Just out of interest, what was the villain's scheme in that?" Because I don't know.
Well, it was Vincent D'Onofrio, so weaponising something.
Yeah, I think he was weaponising cops.
Weaponising chips.
Yeah. Couldn't tell you. What have you got?
I'm going to say The Book of Henry.
Oh, yeah, this was
Which,
bad.
I mean, to be honest, I hate it so much, I kind of like and respect it a little bit.
Can we put Geostorm in there then?
Oh, I'm building to Geostorm. Just you wait, my friend. Just you wait.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Book of Henry is kind of, it's like the cinematic equivalent of, I don't know, kind of like fancying someone when you're at uni or something, and you go out on like a couple of dates with them, and everything's going well, and like you make out with them, and then you realise that, oh my god, she's my cousin.
What?
Exactly. It makes about as much sense.
Okay, you know what it is to me? It's that courgette spaghetti. Courgette.
Yeah.
It's like going in for a pasta dish, someone gives you courgette. Like, what the hell is this?
It's just like a guttural,
Yeah.
Just like a realisation of something really horrible.
Oh, I've got one I really want to chuck on this list.
What's that?
Kyle. A Dog's Purpose.
A Dog's Porpoise, which will be a better film.
A Dog's Porpoise.
It's a loving tale of the dog and his pet porpoise.
A Dog's Purpose was the dog who keeps getting reincarnated into another dog whenever he dies, and so basically it's like
was it Josh Gad?
Yes, Josh Gad voices a dog who changes breeds, changes genders, changes decades, changes owners, and Dennis Quaid's in there. So there was some abuse of animals behind the scenes by all accounts, although that's been disputed since. Do you know what? The animal abuse thing isn't even the worst thing about it. The film itself is a form of abuse, but it's just avoid that one with like the plague. Have you got another one?
I'll give another one to you, but I know you're going to say, but I've not seen again because I didn't have to see it.
Is it The Shack?
No, I've heard bad things about The Shack.
Yeah, The Shack is Sam Worthington is a grieving father who goes to a cabin and talks to
Octavia Spencer.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, who are there as physical presences. So goes and talks to God in a cabin in the woods. I mean, really?
I've just realised I need to talk about my day.
What was your day?
Do you remember the day where I saw 3 of the worst films of the year?
You did, yes.
I've already spoke about one of them, Book of Henry.
Book of Henry.
So I started it with Transformers the Last Night.
Oh god, that was bad. That was really bad.
I mean, I don't think it's the worst film of the year, actually.
Bitch, get out the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, maybe I do.
You want to know, don't you, dude?
I don't need to hear Sir Anthony Hopkins say dude. I'm so I hate myself so much. I followed that with The Mummy.
Oh my god, yeah, The Mummy was bad.
The Mummy was just the worst, just the pits.
There's been some stinkers this year, you got to admit.
Yeah, but yeah, that was bad, and I'm going to finish it up for myself with one of the worst films, but also one of the films that I love the very most this year, Geostorm.
Oh, yeah, so bad that it was good. That I don't. You know, let's not even. That goes in honourable mentions. Like that.
Let's do that. Let's rescind it.
Yeah, we're rescinding that. That's podcast extras.
Jerry the Butt, we'll put you there.
Yeah, Jerry Butler goes in honourable mentions for Geostorm, and when we return, we'll get to the final 2, and we'll do a quick recap.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
We're back for one last ride of 2017. So,
we ain't got podcasts. We got family.
Did you pronounce your B's? Right. So
is that what Vin Diesel's mum says?
Family. Yeah.
Family.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So we've gone through 10 through 3. You know where that takes us next?
Number 2.
Paddington 2.
Which, so number 2 is Paddington 2.
It's the best sequel, certainly of the year, maybe of the last 5 years.
Can we just say we are putting Paddington as a better sequel than Blade Runner 2049?
Yes, we are. If you look at it for what it is, if you compare it to
I
the
stand
first
by
one,
that. Yeah. Totally.
Absolutely.
So you're saying you compare it to the first one? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is the perfect sort of family Christmas film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, okay, so Paddington's back. He's, he's integrated into the community. He is, the man about town helping everyone because he's such a nice guy. And all he wants is to get
the best guy.
Yeah, he just wants to get a pop-up book for his aunt. What's his aunt's name? I can't remember now.
Nice.
For his 100-year-old aunt.
I'm going to find out what his aunt's called, because they've both got great names. His aunt and uncle.
Yeah. All he wants is to get the pop-up book of London to send to his aunt in the nursing home for old bears in Peru. And Aunt Lucy.
It's Aunt Lucy. And Uncle Pastuzo.
That's it. Did you know that's Michael Gambon, Uncle Pastuzo?
I did, Is it Imelda Staunton?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is Imelda Staunton. So he finds himself crossing paths with a former acclaimed actor turned dog food spokesperson, Phoenix Buchanan, played by Hugh Grant, who frames Paddington for breaking into this antique store and stealing this pop-up book. Paddington then goes to prison and basically has the plot of the Grand Budapest Hotel, whilst his family, Hugh Bonneville, Sally Hawkins, are all on the outside trying to prove his innocence. It's bonkers and it's brilliant. Here's a clip.
In the past month, these 3 shadowy individuals have all been seen snooping around 3 London landmarks.
Oh.
We think the thief you saw is part of a criminal gang, using the pop-up book as a treasure map.
Well, it's a theory. Have you found out who they are?
Not yet, dearie.
Maybe I should take a look. I'm sorry, this is a private conversation. Oh, it's all right, Mr. Brown. This is my friend, Knuckles. Go here. And this is Phibbs. G'day. Spoon. Hello. Jimmy the Snitch. All right. T-Bone. Watch out. The Professor. Oh. Squeaky Pete. Hello. Double Bass Bob. Hello. Farmer Jack. Okay. Mad Dog. Oof. Johnny Cashpoint. Ka-ching. Sir Geoffrey Wilcott.
I hope I can rely on your vote.
And Charlie Rumble.
It's so wonderful to meet you all.
Like you say, it's bonkers when you say it out loud. But I loved it. You loved it. We all loved it. Evidently, the British public loved it because a lot of them saw it.
Yes,
and
it made all the money in this country, and I think it only just opened in America recently.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just opening for Christmas.
Yeah, we tend to get it a bit later, the Paddington films.
Well, Paddington suffered because of the Weinstein Company as well, as far as it's.
Oh yeah, they had to find a new. Didn't it go to like WB?
I think Warner Brothers released it.
Warner's got it.
But that was the filmmakers themselves made that decision. They wanted to take it away from
makes sense,
Weinstein's, which is fine, fair, absolutely.
It doesn't affect the film.
Not at all. The film is tremendous. Hugh Grant mincing it up as a villain.
I loved him so much. This is my favourite performance he's ever given, I think. Yeah. Because there's that amazing bit where Sally Hawkins has broken into his house and she's going round and there's all pictures of him, but it's all pictures of like peak hotness Hugh Grant.
Yeah. With his fop. With his foppy hair.
Yeah. It must have been so weird for him to film that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But there's so many digs at himself, I think, as well, that I quite liked. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, he's very game for it.
It is. I mean, this film stops just short of a really thinly veiled prostitute reference as far as let's poke fun at Hugh Grant goes. But no, he's an absolute scene stealer. And I'm sorry, but just Ben Whishaw, who was, let's be honest, was a second choice for Paddington, is just iconic in this role. He's so perfect as this presence.
Yeah, I can't imagine being anybody else now.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can't imagine the planned Colin Firth version ever working.
No, not at all.
Because it has that innocence to it that I just love in this character. And yeah, if you can see only one film this Christmas in a cinema, go and see Paddington 2. If you can see 2, go and see Star Wars The Last Jedi.
No, if you can see 2, go see this twice.
Oh, do you know what? Even better. Yeah, see this twice. So, we need to recap then before we get to our choice for the film of 2017. Okay, and
before we mention Geostorm.
Before we talk about Geostorm, yeah. So, let's go through what we've had so far. So, at number 10, we've had Brigsby Bear. At number 9,
we have The Disaster Artist.
At number 8, we have The Big Sick.
Number 7 was Colossal.
Number 6 was It, not IT, starring Pierce Brosnan.
Number 5 was Blade Runner 2049.
Number 4 was Logan.
Number 3, Star Wars The Last Jedi.
And number 2, Paddington 2.
Which brings us nicely to...
Number 1.
Get Out.
No, how dare you? Look, I paid for that parking. I'll damn well come in here if I please.
Hey, if Obama was running for a third term, I would have voted for him.
Right, so Get Out, by the feature film debut of Jordan Peele. You've never seen a feature debut this genuinely refreshing from a comedian. This is something where you just thought, okay, how has this acclaimed comedic performer come out with something this genuinely disturbing? And that's the thing. It's comedic as well as genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, well, there's always that fine line, and there always should be, between horror and comedy.
And there is very much. And this is very much rooted in 70s sociological, socio-political horror. The general gist here is Daniel Kaluuya. Kaluuya? Like the drink.
Only not spelled the same.
Really? R.I.P. MCD. R.I.P. Oh, man, I miss that guy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio doesn't, but, still. Anyway, so that was a
Kingpin, very
that was a real
Kingpin
reference. Yeah. So Daniel Kaluuya stars as a young photographer who is in a relationship with a white girl played by Alison Williams from Girls. And the idea is he goes home for the weekend to meet her parents for the first time. Affluent, sort of, are they upstate New Yorkers?
Something like that.
Or Connecticut or somewhere like that. Leafy green suburban place. And they are played, of course, by Catherine Keener and
Bradley Whitford.
Yeah, Bradders.
Yeah, Bradders.
It's Josh Lyman, sorry.
He's Josh
Lyman. Call him by
yeah.
his name. Josh Lyman.
Joshua Lyman, yeah.
There's no Bradley Whitford.
Donna.
Talking about. Man became that role. That's it. He forswore that identity.
God, I love Josh Lyman.
However, the arrival of this young African-American boy into this family's life is greeted with a mysterious response, a response that he himself can't quite nail down. What is the secret behind this family? What is the secret behind this neighborhood? And tell you what, here's a clip.
So how long has this been going on, this thing? How long?
4 months.
4 months?
5 months, actually.
She's right. I'm wrong.
Attaboy. Better get used to saying that.
Please, I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. She's right. I'm wrong. See?
Do you have an off button? This is exhausting.
I know. I want to give you a tour.
Can you, unpack first?
You want to unpack? Before the tour?
So, I love it. I think it's amazingly written. I think it's so funny. So well shot, and you know that sequence of one of the only other black characters in the film just silently running towards camera.
Yeah, that became a pretty big meme this year.
Yes. Also, one of the most terrifying images, and yet there's nothing inherently scary on paper about that image. It just
the way that it's shot.
It's chilling, isn't it? It's genuinely chilling.
It's that, and then one of the other only black characters in it, the maid.
Yes.
There's a bit where she's just like looking at the camera and she's like wide-eyed and smiling, and then it kind of begins to crack.
This is it. It's the terror. I love that Jordan Peele has absolutely nailed the idea of let's explore the terror behind the smile kind of thing. And the entire film is like that, where there is this entire smiley, happy veneer, and clearly there is something not quite right behind it, and he makes that genuinely terrifying. To be frank, it's one of those films where once the hammer's down and that big reveal has come, to be fair, that reveal could have ultimately been not very good, and the film would still have been great, because the build-up to it was so superbly executed.
Yeah, it could have been a number of things, really.
Yeah, it could have gone anyway. Some people may be disappointed by what that reveal is. We weren't, and evidently we're not alone in that. But, Bradley Whitford, so chilling. Absolutely chilling. Catherine Keener, I've always found Catherine Keener unsettling. There is something about Catherine Keener.
Yeah, I think so.
She plays that well.
I feel like she can be like really sweet and really warm, and I think because she can be like that,
switch over so yeah. But Daniel Kaluuya, I thought, was a great find.
Amazing, yeah. I knew him from an episode of Black Mirror.
Yes, he did the sort of X Factory one, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's the only one that I knew him from. I think I'd ever seen him in.
I knew him as Tea Leaf from Psychoville. That's what I was, and also he's in Sicario. He's Emily Blunt's partner in Sicario.
So there's a few things, actually.
There's a couple of things. But they're not lead roles. That he's always only ever been a sort of background supporting kind of a player. And seeing him get this moment shine, like, oh, yes, please. I do love the idea that for a long time a lot of people didn't know he was British, and then when his
accent is so good when he's doing press and stuff,
and then when they discovered it, people like Samuel L. Jackson kicked off. So.
That was really interesting. Yeah,
that was weird.
He did retract that. He said, "I didn't mean any disrespect to him." And it was just
he's like, he's tremendous in it. I was just saying that.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, okay, Sam. I don't think you got that, but okay.
Yeah.
Tell me again about how you started in the Matrix. But if we're gonna go with things that offend you, let's ask about your time on the Matrix. Because that was obviously quite a big thing.
That was a huge thing. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So Get Out then, our film of 2017, and did you feel kind of early on that was going to be the case when you saw it?
Possibly. Yeah.
I had that feeling.
I had an inkling.
Yeah, I came out thinking. There's a good chance.
I was like, this could probably be it, and I'd be fine with that.
You knew for sure it was a top 10.
Yeah,
absolutely. You knew it was a top 10. You didn't know if it was going to be, the big number one, but definitely top 10. And so that brings to an end our top 10 films of 2017, which
that's it.
We agreed on quite effortlessly for a change, actually.
We usually have something of a back and forth, the debate.
We usually have something of a minor pocket row.
Yeah, we usually have that bit from like 1960s Star Trek where it's Kirk and Spock. Yeah, like the sticks and everything.
The double-ended axes or whatever.
Yeah. I've got like a giant cut across my chest.
Oh, good. Every time with the shirt. That was a line in Star Trek Beyond, wasn't it? Every time with the shirt. I damaged another shirt. It's Alan Rickman in Galaxy Quest who says the other version. Always losing a shirt.
And now I got to watch Galaxy Quest.
Oh, I love Galaxy Quest. Well, Paul Shear's bringing it back.
He's doing a TV show. It's a good idea, that, I think.
So if you want to hear more movies that we loved this year that weren't in the top 10 but were still sort of in our top 30, we'll say, because I think there's probably another 20 on there, check out the podcast extras on Deezer, iTunes, Acast, TuneIn. And we'll be going through them a lot quicker than we did this one, to be fair. We're not going to label them. But check that out. And we'll be back second week of January, I want to say. Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like second week of January. And until then, this has been Kase for On Screen. I've been Van Connor.
I've been Kase Allen.
Enjoy what's left of this year.
If we're still alive.
If we're still alive.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Offscreen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
So, A Monster Calls was nearly in our top... In fact, no, it was. It was in our top 10 of 2016. And then we realised that it's actually a 2017 film.
It was, yeah. It was. I tried to put it in, I think because it was one of the last press shows of 2016, and it didn't actually open it to the public until New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So it was about as 2017 as you could get.
Yeah, so we are claiming it for honourable mentions. We could have put it in the top 10.
It was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did it break you at all? Did it break anyone?
I didn't cry.
I did. I absolutely did.
But yeah, definitely hurt my soul a little bit.
Oh, so good. Yeah. I really want to watch that again. I haven't had a chance all year. I'm hoping, because I've got the Christmas break, we're like 2 weeks off. I think that's going to be one of the films I'm going to try and push to get watched. I also want to rewatch The Princess Bride, but that's not from this year, so...
I could watch it every year. In fact, I watch it most years.
I haven't watched it since I was a child. But, okay, so I Am Not Your Negro, that was this year as well.
Yeah, I've not seen this, so I really wanted to see it.
So good. I think it's on. Is it on Amazon Prime now?
It was either on Prime or Netflix, one of the
two has it. So worth a look. A story that most people never knew. And really just a really immersive and really at the same time kind of shocking, but not kind of. It was one of those documentaries that you're like, releasing it in this year certainly helped, and very much about racial politics of that time of the 60s in America and civil rights, and a really powerful. A really moving story, just fantastically executed as well. Absolutely worth checking out. And is it Barry Jenkins who did Moonlight?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Is he a producer on it?
No. I'm saying his next film is an adaptation of a novel by the subject of I Am Not Your Negro. Yeah, there you go. What's it called? The Street? Something Street.
I'm not sure.
His new film has got Taraji P. Henson in it, hasn't it? I think she's just signed up.
I'd watch her in anything.
But yeah,
she's cookie.
That's exactly. The Belko Experiment. We saw that this year.
That was fun.
That was fun, wasn't it? That was the thing. It was fun. It was a fun, good old fashioned Cannon film style.
Everybody dies. Well,
Everybody must die. Really just cathartic exercise in mass carnage. And imagine that scene from Kingsman if you stretched it out to a whole movie.
Yeah, to 90 minutes.
Yeah, that church scene from Kingsman just is a movie in an office building. That's this movie.
Yeah.
And written by James Gunn.
Yeah, he's doing another film with the guy that directed this. I think he's producing that one as well.
Excellent.
I think it's a similar kind of horror.
Well, I have high hopes for it.
Which is good, yeah.
Didn't he also bring back Orion as well? Orion Pictures came back.
I think
with
he did,
this one.
yeah.
I
love that logo.
I know, mate. It's a classic because it's on so many of our favourite films.
Yes.
Like RoboCop, things like that. Is it on Bill and Ted?
I think so.
Bill and Ted, yeah. The Transfiguration, we both liked that as well, I believe.
Film.
This, I can't wait to see this again. And it's one of those films that I think you get more enjoyment out of showing it to someone for the first time and enjoying their reaction to it. Yeah, especially that third act. This is a standard sort of, on paper, a sort of standard, vampire in Brooklyn kind of a tale. No Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, not that vampire in Brooklyn.
Only our vampire in Brooklyn is a teenager, and an honest to goodness, actual believable teenager, not like a 22-year-old playing 15. Who just begins a friendship with a young girl, and he's a vampire.
Yeah,
as one does.
Just happens to be.
Lady Macbeth. You didn't see this one, did you, Lady Macbeth?
No.
This was a film that... It starred Florence Pugh, and I came away from this film thinking...
That's supposed to know that a gun makes, isn't it?
Yeah. Pew, yeah. She's absolutely tremendous in this. This is, despite what the title would have you believe, this is like a Danielle Steele novel, just like on ecstasy, and just going for the erotic thriller stakes. And I loved it. I think she's tremendous in it, and she's starring in Stephen Merchant's movie with The Rock at the minute. The Rock is producing
Something With My Family,
Fighting with My Family, which apparently is the real story of Paige from the WWE, one of the WWE divas. It's her actual biopic.
Is it?
It is. And I'm like, that's amazing. I got to see that movie.
Yeah.
But I can't wait for that. One of your picks, actually, Thor Ragnarok.
Well, you say that. Do you know what? Let's do all the superhero films.
Well, we've got two in here, haven't we? Is that and Guardians?
Yeah. However, we've missed Homecoming off there, and Homecoming could be there.
Yeah.
And rather egregiously, I feel like the internet is going to punch us in the face. We didn't put Wonder Woman there, and we've not spoken about Wonder Woman, even though...
I deliberately avoided Wonder Woman because...
Why?
Right, I know why...
I'm putting it up there.
I know you are. Okay, well, we'll include Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman is great. Gal Gadot is wonderful in it.
Yeah.
It's very well executed. Patty Jenkins is far and away the strongest caliber director the DCEU has seen so far. It's very interesting to me that of those DC Extended Universe movies, the one with the most personality happens to come from not only the most macho, but also the only woman. And I think that's something that should never be ignored. I think the DCEU could feasibly be scrapped, and we just keep Wonder Woman.
We just get Wonder Woman films.
I would happily go with that, and just keep her and just reboot the universe around her. Great, but keep Gal Gadot. She's wonderful. She is that character.
Yeah.
The film actually is, I think, is cheapened slightly by the character's eventual transition to Justice League.
So you're still looking at it? No, you are.
No,
you are absolutely.
I'm making that as a side comment. Hang on, I'm making that as a side comment.
You're letting the side comment influence your full comments.
No.
Yes,
hang
you
on,
are.
Will you hush? Right.
Would you just listen to me because I am important and I am speaking?
What's the quiz direction? I am talking.
Yeah.
No, I'd say that's a side note. I do think that if you're following the Wonder Woman character, I think she takes a massive step down in her next appearance. I don't think that affects...
I think everyone would agree with that.
Yeah, but I
Although
do
they gave her way more to do just for reshoots and stuff.
Well, that much is obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, she gets what I think is the only sort of passable set piece in Justice League, which is that first sequence in Holborn, in the courthouse that only has one window.
With Rhys Bolton from Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rhys Bolton.
Something. He's Roos.
Roos, yeah.
I do think, though, Wonder Woman falls apart for me in one key regard, which is you've got a film which really breaks the mould.
I know what you're going to say.
Go on.
I don't know why I covered the microphone.
No, go on.
You're going to say about, what's the name from The Office, whose name escapes me?
No. I made peace with that.
I'm glad you made peace, because That was the whole point from the comics.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that she is a throwback to that character began. That's fine. Speaking of Wonder Woman, by the way, there is an obvious other film that we missed from the honourable mentions.
Professor Marston.
Yeah, we'll get to that as well. We've got all of them. No, my issue with Wonder Woman is, for all of its mold breaking, for as impressive as it is, I do think its third act becomes kind of just the same old.
The floating stuff in the sky.
Floating stuff in the sky. What looks like an empty warehouse lot.
Yeah.
In this case, an airfield that's quite clearly a lot of green screen, overly CG'd villain. But until that, I do think it's great. I do think it's a genuinely great until that final reel, as it were.
Yeah, I think everyone's in agreement with that. But that just makes me look forward to the second one, because hopefully they won't do that again.
Yeah, I'm hoping for something more. I'm hoping it's in that way that Captain America the First Avenger was quite perfunctory.
Yeah,
but Winter Soldier, yeah.
I'm hoping she fights Ivan Drago in the sequel.
When he goes Cold War?
Yeah.
I think we're going to go for someone like Felix Faust or something like that in a sequel.
That'd be cool.
But anyway, so our other three comic book movies are all the Marvel Cinematic Universe ones this year.
First one, Guardians 2. Let's do them in order. Guardians 2.
Loved it so much.
Yeah.
It's a perfect comic book movie that can laugh and have you laughing in hysterics and also have you weeping mercilessly at the same time.
Yeah.
And
it does good things for, I would say, all the arcs of the main Guardians.
For a film with that many characters to have that many successful arcs within it, I think is genuinely
it wraps
impressive.
them up for some people, and
it also recontextualizes entire relationships from the film that came before it. So Michael Rooker looks like a rock star for that first movie, even though in that first movie he's largely just played as a comic relief villain. And then in the second movie is recontextualized as actually...
You see why he's done what he's done.
There's a subtext added to it that's actually so much more touching.
Yeah.
And also, we get a comic book movie that genuinely makes a solid emotional beat out of a Cat Stevens song. And I almost said Fisher Stevens song. So,
I would love to see a Fisher Stevens do Cat Stevens. Stevens does Stevens.
Yeah. No, comic book movies don't generally go near Cat Stevens. So, yeah.
What's your issue with Cat Stevens?
No, nothing at all. I'm just saying comic book movies don't go there. Well, will you stop trying to pick a fight with me, sir?
Comic book movies,
it's the end of the year.
Comic book movies didn't do noir westerns, and now we have Logan.
Exactly. Well, that's the point. The movies we're talking about, they're all very different entries into this subgenre.
Yeah, and that could lead us to Spider-Man Homecoming.
Exactly.
Which is a teen high school film.
And the first proper millennial one as well, which is actually something I think even more impressive.
Spider-Man sending emojis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Spider-Man Homecoming got a very short thrift from a lot of critics because of how backwards looking it was to the 80s and John Hughes.
I thought it was pretty favourable.
Oh, no, there were a lot of comments made about why it keeps referencing 80s. I'm just like, I don't think you people have talked to your children a lot recently because those kids do love those movies. That's how their culture works. It is all about nostalgia.
Yeah.
So the idea that Spider-Man is...
Why do you think, Beauty and the Beast did so well? And I mean, Power Rangers, for a terrible film that it was, that made some... pretty serious bank. What you consider about it.
Nostalgia is in, and Spider-Man was quite clever about it, which is just have the character be nostalgic. Yeah. Don't have the film be nostalgic. Fine. And I think that's why it works.
The soundtrack as well. I mean,
And also,
Ramones and
Mickey
The Beat. And one of the best MCU villains. Top three.
This was the thing, because when Marvel got access to Spider-Man, I think it was Scott Mendelson who wrote a full-blown editorial, which is Marvel now has access to good villains. Michael Keaton genuinely lived up to that bar. And also, Tom Holland made for a really good Spider-Man.
He's my favourite Spider-Man.
I think he's brilliant. I prefer him to Tobey Maguire. I'm not afraid to say that. I do.
Yeah. Different takes from him.
Yeah.
Both
different
good.
Material.
But I prefer Tom Holland.
I have more fun with him. And also I like his mentor-mentee relationship with my boy. But
your lad.
Yeah, my boy.
Yeah. And then Ragnarok.
Oh, well.
Which I saw for the second time last week.
It certainly rocked, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's
definitely the most fun I've had with a comic book film this year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
This is the I think it was the most fun.
I think I put it in my own personal top 10.
Yeah? I think it was the most fun. Of all the comic movies this year, I think Ragnarok, hands down, the most fun. This was the white-knuckle roller coaster ride. This was the bonkers, Flash Gordon, Last Starfighter, kind of
Big
80s throw. Big Trouble in Little China. Every 80s sci-fi adventure classic movie rolled into one.
And yet critics seem to love this for nostalgia.
Yeah, funny that, isn't it? Yeah. I know. It's because when Spider-Man was out, Sony didn't send us the usual check that Marvel send us. So,
I must have got lost in
Yeah. Sony didn't send all the critics the usual Marvel check. So, actually, do you know what? Little side note about the way that film was handled. Spider-Man. When it comes to Marvel movies, they're generally handled by Disney Publicity. They're a dream to deal with. They are. Disney will bend over backwards for you.
Yeah.
Like I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I asked them, can I come to this screening? And they said, sure, but you don't have to. If you want to see it 3 days early, you can come to this screening. Or the day after that, there's this one. Or there's the premiere. Or there's this. And they gave me like 6 options. Yeah. Sony... Very different response. Yeah. And you start thinking, I don't think you guys know how Marvel movies work.
No. Okay. You don't know how to do the shit.
But no, you have not quite learned yet. So let's talk about My Life as a Courgette. Very touching, very short. It's actually about an hour long. Very touching sort of stop-motion animated film. You can see this either in an English dub or its original French language, and either is as good. Beautiful, beautiful film that will absolutely destroy you inside.
I feel like you were about to cry then.
I was choking on my own coffee then, that's what it was.
Choking on my own rage.
Yeah. But this is about orphans and overcoming abusive homes, and it's not really the stuff you would think of for animated family films, but you absolutely
No, but yeah, it worked so well.
Yeah. Okja. You saw Okja as well, I believe?
Yes.
This was very Terry Gilliam, wasn't it?
This was bleak.
This will make a lot of people vegans.
Yeah.
This film.
I really liked it.
I loved it. I thought Paul Dano was...
I bought you an Okja t-shirt.
You bought me an Okja t-shirt for Christmas. Save the Super Pig, which I'm so happy about. Thank you. I thought Tilda Swinton, always fun. There's just a great cast to it.
Is she always going to be twins for him?
She's not in Snowpiercer. There's only one of her in Snowpiercer. She was a twin in Hail Caesar, which was the year before.
Yeah,
as well.
for the Coens. Maybe I'm just thinking she
likes
being twins.
Yeah, right. But Okja's absolutely worth checking out. Dunkirk.
Dunkirk was great. I think it's going to win a lot of the visual Oscars.
I think it will. Do you think it will get the Best Director Oscar, nomination?
I think it'll get a nomination. I don't know if it'll win. I think it was really front runner to win, and I think it's too close to call right now.
It's very interesting.
Him and GDT have never got Best Director nominations, and this is what is seemingly going to be the first year for both of them. So that's pretty amazing.
It is an interesting year, isn't it? It was a movie that was quite subversive in how it played with time. It wasn't quite as straightforward as a regular film, but it's a Christopher Nolan film, so you always knew it wasn't going to be.
Yeah, but he does the thing of having it in 3 different time periods. One is moving faster.
The distinct way that's structured. Yeah, it absolutely was.
I thought that was amazing.
I really loved it. Yeah. And it was the fact that they didn't market that at all. You only got that when you sat down to watch it.
Yeah, which seems to catch a lot of people off guard as well. They're like, what? Why has it been told like this?
I know, but did you notice that they didn't then immediately hop on Twitter and say that it destroyed their expectations of what a World War II movie should be? Yeah, funny that.
I mean, if it was a lightsaber in it, then they would have said.
They would have totally. Yeah, but they didn't with Dunkirk, which I find really funny. That actually,
Well, actually, you say about loads of people complained that it wasn't historically accurate. Those beaches didn't actually look like the Dunkirk beach, and
and there was apparently a lack of women. To which you just think that was war in the 1930s. Yes, that's totally how it worked. 1930s and 40s. That's kind of how it worked. The front was not generally a popular female destination.
Not popular with the ladies.
Not popular with the ladies at the time.
Detroit, I did not see, and I really want to see it, but you saw it and really loved it.
I absolutely adored Detroit. Career-defining performance from Will Poulter. Proof that John Boyega has genuine movie star charisma in him. It's a powerful, punchy movie. Really dramatic. It really cuts at you. It's a really piercing story. I'm not entirely sure how much of it is based on fact. Obviously, certain events within it have clearly happened. But it was fascinating. It was a movie that elicited as much anger from you as it did general sort of optimistic passion about where we are now. But the real world kind of kills that optimism stone dead as soon as you leave the cinema, to be fair. Wind River you've not seen yet, have you?
I've not seen it. I really want to see it.
Well, this is Taylor Sheridan's directorial debut. His first one since making it big, because he directed a horror movie in 2011
Oh, so he's directed things before.
He's directed that one.
He's been known as a writer and being in Sons of Anarchy.
Yes, that's it. I always remember him as Sheriff Hale.
Yeah.
And I remember that character's fate, and it still upsets me now. But yeah, his efforts here writing this, because it's effectively a murder mystery set on a snowy Native American reservation.
Yes.
With a Caucasian, I think he's like a forest ranger, Jeremy Renner, and a rookie FBI agent played by Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen. Lizzie Olsen, yeah. And the relationship's great, the dialogue is sharp, the story is compelling, it's surprisingly more simplistic than you would expect, and it's subversive about how it goes about it. I really, really liked it. It didn't get rave reviews, but I came away from it thinking this is a worthy trilogy ender for Sicario and Hell or High Water.
I think Hell or High Water is my favourite.
You think like that one the best? I'd be intrigued to see what you make of this then, actually. Because this, I think, this is like a halfway point between the two, stylistically and tonally. Cool. Moonlight, you were a fan of this, I believe?
You mean La La Land, don't you?
Do I mean La La Land? Have you got La La Land in yours? Oh, no. It took me a minute. I'm sorry, that took me a minute. Oh, my God. Oh, I see what you did there.
Your face is the producer of La La Land right now.
Yes, it really is, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. God, that we didn't mention that in the events of this year.
No, we should have done. That should have been the first thing.
So let's cover Moonlight first. How much did you love Moonlight? It was such a good movie.
Mahershala Ali won an Oscar. That's all I needed.
I know. I mean, I'm so
Remy
happy.
had an Oscar.
I know. It's amazing. I can't believe I've lived to see a time in which Mahershala Ali, the dude from the 4400, the sort of hapless character from the 4400, has got an Oscar.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
Deservedly so, though.
Yeah, I mean, Cottonmouth has an Oscar.
Cottonmouth.
Yeah. God, I want to watch Luke Cage again. Yeah. Okay, In Between, this was a film I absolutely adored.
Yes, I know you liked it a lot.
This was a story about three young girls and three young girls in, I think it was Palestine, and it was really compelling, really well drawn, really interesting. Really loved it. Death of Stalin. Did you ever see Death of Stalin?
No, I missed it. It was on at the cinema that I go to for like 3 weeks as well, so I feel like I had ample opportunity, but I was just crazy busy.
Well, I think for the amount of time you'll spend rolling around laughing, it's probably better that you watch it at home anyway. It's hysterical.
You don't want to annoy too many people.
Yeah, it's absolutely hysterical. Anytime Jason Isaacs is on screen, hello Jason Isaacs, anytime Jason Isaacs is on screen, you will absolutely just burst in hysteria. Yeah. It's genuinely hilarious. And Steve Buscemi is just great. As a sleazy Russian politician, a squirmy, weaselly Russian politician, he's second to none. Good. Even though he's doing it with an American accent, which is part of the gag, by the way. It's not that he's bad at it, it's part of the gag. So let's talk about Moonlight.
Oh, I was going to say, give it to it.
Yeah. Fool me once, fool me twice. You can't get fooled again. See, that's an idiot president. Not squirmy hands, but squirmy hands. So La La Land. Let's we got to mention that. I mean, I don't think either of us thought it was one of the best films of the year, but I think it was definitely one of the most impressionable films of the year.
It's definitely one of the top 30 films.
Oh yeah,
which is why we put it in.
Why we put it in. This was a sort of a watermark moment. This was a hangover of optimism from the Obama years, wasn't it? This was that sort of, let's be happy, and we forgot when we were releasing this.
Yeah. Do you remember when we all knew how to smile?
Yeah. Remember when we thought we could do musical
I remember what sunshine looks like.
Yeah. Love used to be a thing. People were happy together. You know, you could pursue your dreams. Obamacare was still around. Tax bill hadn't been passed. America was generally upbeat.
Yeah. Didn't have to have my grandparents put down because one of them got like a splinter in his hand.
Exactly.
Couldn't afford the medical bills.
This got Emma Stone the Oscar, didn't it?
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
See, I never quite got on board with that, but I can see the sort of thought behind it, and yes, the groundwork for that is clear in La La Land. I thought Gosling was a lot of fun, but then again,
he's amazing.
What's Gosling not any good at? This is the thing. I feel like he's going to go down that Daniel Day-Lewis route of if you want to take up dressmaking, he'd be brilliant at it.
Yeah, he's kind of sickeningly talented.
He is a
It's
bit.
like Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, it's like, stop doing things. You're making the rest of us
It'd be
look
like,
bad.
oh, you don't know how to make like pasta from scratch? And he was like, I don't, but if you give me half an hour, and then half an hour later, it's like the most delicious thing you've ever eaten.
Every time I look at Ryan Gosling, I always think of that moment in the Avengers, like, when did you learn about thermonuclear astrophysics? Oh, last night.
Yeah.
When did you become an expert? Last night. I feel like he's that as a person.
Yeah. But hashtag humble.
Hashtag so humble. His apple crumble is by far the most crumble.
Most crumble. Yeah.
Let's talk about Better Watch Out.
This was fun.
This was so much fun. This was funny games for Christmas, and yeah, I mean that's really it. It's funny games for Christmas, but actually funny. And there's some great jabs at things like Home Alone in there, and little horror classics like Halloween get referenced and things like that. Loved it. A career-making career launcher for Levi Miller, who I think we'd all written off as a child for being in Pan. And now he's a tween, and he's actually got some talent, it seems. So
I've only just put together he was Pan. And then in Monster Calls, that's Nibsy, isn't it?
That's Nibsy, yeah. So Pan and Nibsy had good roles this year.
This was the year where, like, up was down, black was white.
Yeah. Do you want to do the Nibsy, though? Nibsy! The Beguiled was this year as well, Sofia Coppola's remake of the 70s Clint Eastwood movie. And yeah, if you're going to give a remake of a movie that's really only remembered in cult cinema circles, definitely give it to Sofia Coppola and she'll give you gold. And she even manages to give you gold with Colin Farrell. I mean, really? Yeah. Kirsten Dunst, Nicole Kidman, Elle Fanning, such a good cast. Really loved it. What else we got? We talked about Guardians already. Oh, The Babysitter.
Yeah, this was really good. It's a Netflix original, and it's by McG. Again, up is down, black is white.
Yeah, who expected McG would turn out a good movie? I mean, I'll be honest, I'm still waiting for McG to be involved in some sort of scandal, but, Brett Ratner's beaten him to there.
Give it time.
Yeah. The Babysitter, which for me made a star of Samara Weaving, who's very, very much now on the rise. She seems to be sort of a model / actress. Who's
she Hugo Weaving's niece.
Is she?
I
know she is Australian.
So, yeah.
But I think she's...
niece or something of that.
She's an absolute breakout star as The Babysitter. I don't even want to tell you the plot of The Babysitter. If you've got Netflix, just watch it. It's great.
Yeah.
And if you've got Netflix, it's not going to cost you anything.
It costs
so
nothing.
You've got no
apart from what
excuse.
you are already paying.
Yeah. Which brings us, of course, to the Meyerowitz stories.
Also Netflix original. I really liked this.
I haven't seen it.
I think you should watch it.
I will. I definitely want to watch it.
Yeah, because I know there's some Adam Sandler films that you like, or more there's Adam Sandler performances that you like.
Well, that's the thing. When he goes drama, he gives good drama.
Yeah, when he works with like Paul Thomas Anderson.
He Punch Drunk Loves.
I believe he's been friends with Noah Baumbach for a long time as well. So he's got that pedigree of like being able to be in films like this, and then he'll meet up with Kevin James, go to Hawaii and make Grown Ups 5 or whatever.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
The next one will be like in some Arizona water park or something, but, something like that, wherever they want to go.
But no, this was really great, an amazing performance.
This is him and Ben Stiller as brothers arguing over their fathers.
Yes, and there's a sister as well. The father is Dustin Hoffman, who he's an artist, he's a sculptor, and he thinks more of himself than what is actually there. So he sees himself as being this like amazing artist, and his kids have kind of like believed that up until the point of when they get to like grown age and they see that he's not the person that they always thought that he. There's an amazing line in it where he's like, "We always had to believe that our father was a genius, because if not, we'd see him as like the arsehole that he was."
Yes,
it's something like that.
In the trailer, I think I've seen that in the trailer. I really like that line.
Pretty genius.
I'm looking forward to seeing this. Like I say, I've got Netflix, so I've got no excuse. Baby Driver is a movie you really loved that I really respected when I first saw it. I didn't think it was.
You couldn't quite bring yourself to fully enjoy an Edgar Wright film.
No, I couldn't. And then I saw it again, and I just took a breath, and I really fell into it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
It's a movie that makes a genuine star of Ansel Elgort.
It's a dance film with cars.
Yeah, effectively, it really is. It's a swinging musical with cars, but yeah, I'm all good with this. Yeah. John Wick 2, an action sequel that actually lived up to its own hype.
Yeah.
That gave us one of my favourite shootouts of the year, actually, which is the silent walking through public, taking silence shots at each other.
That was amazing.
Common and John Wick.
Yes, I love that sequence.
And I love that
Common
so much. Just point out, by the way, I saw a tweet the other day, and it stuck with me, and it's talking about 2017 was not the year of blah or blah or blah. It was, in fact, the year of, cyberpunk bisexual colour schemes. And they showed you shots from Blade Runner 2049, Atomic Blonde, John Wick 2, and something else. And they've all got exactly that same sort of purple hue, neon colour scheme. You're like, holy crap, that's actually right.
That's pretty popular.
Logan Lucky.
Yeah, NASCAR heist film.
That was fun.
It was so much fun.
How great was Daniel Craig in that? I'm sorry, introducing Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Adam Driver, so much fun in there.
Chantate.
And Seth MacFarlane with the worst English accent you've ever
he was definitely the kind of downside of that film for me.
He definitely was.
I loved it in spite of that.
And
really.
we got some Riley Keough again, which is never a bad thing.
I just thought, like, if Steven Soderbergh comes out of this retirement that he's been promising for a while, it wouldn't be with a fun film like this, and then he made a fun film like this. So.
I know, that was great. I had a blast with it, but Chantate rocking it. Although, I will say one negative against Logan Lucky.
What's that?
It does find itself on another list of mine, which is annoying movies that have overused and basically destroyed the song Country Road this year.
Oh, no, I thought I was going to be a Game of Thrones reference.
No, I'm sick of Country Road. We didn't mention Free Fire, by the way.
No, that was great.
Which was a blast.
Yeah.
Professor Marston, also a blast. A very powerful film as well, and actually had something to say. And that brings us, of course, to our last one, which is one of the year's most debated. So, Mother.
You got to say it like the trailer says it.
Mother!
Yeah. There was that one trailer that came out like the week before when the film came out, and it was like, you will never forget where you were when you experienced Mother. Just like, what is this?
Now, to be fair, it does deliver on that hype. You'll never forget where you were when you saw Mother.
Yeah.
It's a film that had basically no mainstream appeal, and its box office returns absolutely proved that. However, this was a work of art. This was a literally biblical work of art, and it did give way to just a heap of discussion about what the hell the film was about.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty apparent. Like,
I thought that as well, and there were a couple of other critics that did think it, and there were other critics who were mystified by it. Genuinely did not get it, who didn't see the themes, who didn't quite get
who she was, didn't know who Harvey Bardem was, who the two young lads were.
It's when you've got the brothers and one murders the other that you think, we kind of
that
get that metaphor.
Happened in a book.
Yeah, might be. I would love it if it said based on the original novel by God.
based on a Jesus joint.
Based on characters created by Jesus H. Christ. No, it's not an entertaining film, but it's a film that you find yourself enthralled by, and it's a film that will get a reaction out of you, whether that's a good or bad reaction. It's genuinely, viscerally polarizing. It will get that reaction out of you, a strong reaction, whether or not it's a positive or negative one. And I'd argue that that's better than nothing, which is what you'd get with the bulk of releases nowadays, which is you can sit there in the average blockbuster and just feel nothing.
Absolutely.
I'd rather have an artistic film, particularly by a director like Aaron Aronofsky.
Yeah.
And just, wow.
It was better than just having Noah again, in my opinion.
Yeah, no rock monster Transformers in this one.
Rock monster. And the last one we're going to talk about here, very quickly, Geostorm.
Yes, we need to address Geostorm, which let's just call this the blockbuster of the year straight off the bat. And
I had the most fun. It is a complete flaming garbage fire of a film.
It truly is.
It is a mess.
It took
a messy production.
3 years to release this.
Yeah.
I mean, with reshoots and everything, this was sat on the shelf for 3 years in some form or other. And didn't they replaced the director? They added 2 producers. They got another writer. They removed a character. They added a character.
I feel like there was some Jared Butler hair work.
I definitely got that impression. And then there's this
Jim said just wearing a really bad wig at one point.
Oh yeah, he has the worst hair. He has like 18th century lobotomy hair.
He does.
Yeah, I've been incarcerated in an 18th century Victorian hospital. And they've given me the from hell lobotomy. But he has that kind of hair. It has got Abby Cornish as an unnecessarily sexified and badass Secret Service agent, which I love and hate in equal measure. Just because I love seeing Abby Cornish.
And Andy Garcia, he's the president of the United States of America.
He literally has no name until the end of the film. He's like, his name could just be President. Yeah, really. When they start calling him
Mr. P. Resident.
Yeah. When they start calling him by his name, like, who the hell is that character they're talking about? Oh, it's the President.
I need a sequel, but I want Joe Butler then to be the president.
Oh, I know. That's totally it.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, let's not overlook the greatest thing in this movie, which is Gerard Butler as a satellite engineer is the most inspired casting Hollywood has ever whipped out.
That's a good point.
This is Mel Gibson as an astronaut.
I just
brilliant.
thought of some shared universe stuff.
Go on. What you got for me?
Okay. Sequel to this.
Yeah.
But we're calling, I don't know, 2-0 Storm or something like that. GO2, whatever.
Yeah.
He ends up working for the president.
Yeah.
He's obviously got a very good relationship now.
Well, the president is down one cabinet member. So, yeah.
Yeah. He's working for the president.
Yeah.
As like security, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Goes on Air Force One with him. Who does he meet on Air Force One?
Gerard Butler from London Has Fallen.
Yes.
There we are.
And then you have Butler v. Butler.
Oh, man, that's
because we don't know who the president's going to be in Angel Has Fallen, because...
I've got a theory on that.
Aaron Eckhart
isn't in
gone.
it. I've got a theory because Morgan Freeman is in it.
So you think he's going to be
I
president?
think it's going to be set after the election, and in this case, Morgan Freeman has ascended to the presidency.
So, double theory.
Go on.
Is this going to be a double impact? Is it going to be a Deep Impact prequel?
Oh, yes. I mean, I'm absolutely in. You give me that, I will watch that.
Yeah. And then triple theory. It's actually it's a Jacob's Ladder scenario. To borrow something from her.
And it's all in his head whilst he's sat in his cell in the movie Gamer waiting to be taken out of the cell.
All Gerard Butler films are all connected.
Like that dream he had where he was trying to romance Katherine Heigl. And and that other time he had a dream about like a family drama with his son.
And then he was a ghost and he was leaving messages for
like
Jennifer
what would I
Garner.
do if I wasn't around and I was married to Hilary Swank? I'd leave her some letters.
Hilary Swank, that's it, not Jennifer Garner. Yeah.
Like I hope she doesn't replace me with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, but she might. It's my dream, she can do whatever she wants.
And then he lives underneath a theatre and
sings.
And sings.
Yeah.
Some would call him a phantom. I think we're better about this.
Yeah, I think that is the theory on which you end 2017.
Yeah.
In which case, for one last time this year, do you want to kick it off?
Here it is, your moment of Cage.
I know how your mind works. You know exactly what you're doing. And the whole time, you're staying there with this who me expression on your face!